Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. This week, I'm chatting with superstar artist and bartender Chelsea Webb about the importance of owning who you are, spreading love to everyone you meet, and finding peace in the chaos. Maybe someday through our new invention, Muga. Welcome to another episode of Cultivating Courage. I am your host, Kristin Robinson. Welcome and thank you for tuning in, as always. And if you're new, we're super excited to have you. We're also super excited to have Chelsea on.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm super pumped to have you. Chelsea is a bartender. She's an artist, and she's just a generally fabulous human being.
I accept. Accept all of those things.
Yes. I was saying before we started recording, but I just love your spirit and your attitude about life. And I think it's infectious, and I love that.
I will take that.
Infectious in a good way.
Mm-hmm. I will take that infection.
So let's chat a little bit about, first, is there anything that our audience should know about you?
I am not humble. I literally live everything to a full 100% because when we all live our life, you go through a lot of stuff that just makes you realize life is short.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, but life is short. I'm almost 6 foot tall of a firecracker of a woman. And I built myself to get here, so I'm going to do my thing.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, have you always been just wholly who you are?
No,
or was it a process?
No.
Yeah.
I'll explain my tattoo later because it's a full circle of me becoming, I was a very insecure girl. I'm one of 9 kids, and we did not have a lot of money, so it's more of you have a personality that stands out or else no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
And I really just knew who I was. I'm very vivacious. I've been insanely bouncy off the wall since I was little. I know exactly what I want to do every day, whether I don't or not. I know I don't know.
Right.
And I really just try to soak up literally every morsel of life, even when I was little. I was a 3-sport athlete. I tried to debate. I was in Interact Club. I'd like to go to the hospice and just play bingo. I'm that girl. 'Cause I'm from a little town, so you just knew everybody.
Yeah.
And I grew up really early knowing, if you care for people, you mostly care for other people, but you grow in the wisdom of growing to care for yourself. Mm-hmm. But you learn that through doing it with other people. Whether it's kids, your family, your siblings, nieces and nephews, old people in the little town.
Right.
You do your thing.
Yeah.
And you grow up knowing who you want to be, and no matter what the career-wise, you know you want to be a good person.
Yeah.
And that's the basis.
Yeah. Sorry, pause. Remember that one time on that one episode I forgot to turn my cell phone off? Yeah.
Hold on, wait, before we start. Just so you know.
Oh, sorry, what am I doing?
No, you're cool. Hold the mic a little closer.
Sorry, that's what I wasn't sure, and then I was adjusting midwise, and I was like,
about, here.
Is that fine? Cool. Sorry, and I apologize if I didn't.
You're fine.
It's actually good with my elbow rest.
3, 2, 1.
So with that, did you find your family with all of those kids and a small town? I grew up in a small town as well, so I totally get that.
Get it.
But a smaller family, there were only 3 of us. But did you find that your siblings and your parents just let you be who you were, or did you feel growing up there were shoulds and shouldn'ts and proper ways to be?
Yeah, no, we did not. We had more of just everybody kind of learned on their own style. Our parents did still the basics, food, all that. Habits, we went to school, all of that. But it was more of a just eat or be eaten kind of world. Yeah. And I kind of liked that. Growing up, I was we didn't get anything. You watch your friends have everything and the cool new stuff, and I never got that. I got hand-me-downs from 10 years, but now I'm grateful. Yeah. Because it learned me to love the value of money and just time with people. Yeah. And even learning how to make money and spending time making money a lot, you realize that you do all of that just to full circle back to just doing nothing with your family.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about life in general is you do everything for the people that you love.
Yeah.
Including yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and it takes you a long time to realize what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But once you find it, that's all you want to do.
Yeah, I think it's like so true. I think that like people and love is everything.
Oh, yeah.
And like not just your family and friends and like the people you're closest with, but even strangers. To your point of like going to the old folks home and playing bingo.
Yeah.
Like just to like be love to the world is the most amazing way to like float around through life, I think.
And just to be known, like not even just being known as a good person, but knowing that you are a good person.
Yeah.
Makes everything in your life, every aspect better.
Yeah.
I mean, down to like the breakfast sandwich you get in the morning. Like people own those restaurants because they love to cook. They love making people smile. They love filling people's belly and knowing that they did it with something that they love to do.
Yeah.
Like, and it's great. Because like you're just getting breakfast before work and you're hoping they go quicker because you have stuff to do.
Yeah.
And you're just being a total jackass.
Right.
And like sometimes you check yourself and you're like the other day I was getting on the L and I was annoyed because I was going to work and there was someone like an older lady that was holding up the whole train and I caught myself being like annoyed that I'm like, ugh. And then I was like, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. But if you check yourself.
Right.
Because we're not all perfect. I don't float around like Snow White with butterflies.
Oh my God, all the time? No.
Putting my clothes up.
Yeah.
And but like if you can check yourself like that, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to like me being a bartender. It's like it's always on 10 out of 10, entertaining people. Boom, boom, boom. But I know I'm doing that to make money.
Yeah.
To go home so I could literally sit with my dog and my husband and visit my family and have like barbecues and such.
Yeah.
Like that's living.
Right.
And that's what people misconceive about bartenders is that none of us have like morals, dreams, like codes. And it's like we do all of this so we can live out our dreams.
Yeah.
So the transition stage, whether you are a bartender or a career bartender or just filling the gap here and there, you're putting yourself out there and you're still providing for yourself and the world. So
yeah,
ever feel bad.
Well, and I think that you learn so many lessons about life behind the bar.
Oh, beyond.
Yeah.
I got so much confidence just from learning my job, learning how to handle people in all situations, sober, drunk, like nice people, downright awful people, with a smile on my face.
Yep.
Which teaches me everything I need to know about life. Because when you're like at work, you're technically forced to do like, you know, you're more forced to be like, hello, hi. Oh my God, let me tell you more about the specials.
Yeah.
But do I want to? No. But will I? Hell yeah, because I'm representing.
Yeah.
And I'm choosing to represent them, which is a lot of people's, like, they misconstrue, like, no, this is my job. They get what they get. It's like, no, when you work for people, that is your exact job, is to do what they want themselves to be represented as.
Right.
But you can bring so much flair.
Yes. You can do it your way.
Flair. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they call me Miss Technical, but you can't do anything wrong when you do everything the exact way. But, man, can you put some sprinkles on the cupcake?
Yeah, for sure.
I am definitely the sprinkles.
I would agree with that. What do you think is the biggest life lesson that you've learned bartending?
Just to be a nice person.
Yeah.
Like, and I know that's not necessarily a lesson, but it's the biggest lesson. Like, if you can be kind to everyone, like the busser, the person that cleans it before we even get to work. Like, I was known for, like, I love the cleaning crew. Yeah. And, like, they know me and they were like, no one ever talks to us. And I was like, we're all human. Like, we all do a job. Like, I clean up too, my man. Like, and if people just realize just being nice and sympathy and empathy with people. Same thing, reciprocation to us, because some people act like I'm a robot. Like, just yelling at my fellas because they, like, got it, like, the mixer wrong. And it wouldn't even be, I'm like, is this really what you're mad at? Yeah. Like, and I'll make them a new drink. You're happy, we're happy, but.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, I think too, when you're able to take a step back and recognize, we were just talking about this off air a little bit, when someone is angry with you, which happens often in bars and restaurants, a lot of times it has nothing to do with you or the mistake.
Yeah, it's
there's like something
redirection.
going. Yeah, there's something.
They can
else
be in
going
an argument with their girlfriend on the way to the game.
Exactly.
And then be yelling at me over something about their drink order or waiting.
Right.
Despite it being completely shoulder to shoulder busy.
Yeah.
Some people will never learn that patience and just waiting will get you everything you need.
Yes.
In life and at the bar.
And at the bar. Yes. Kindness and patience will get you far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In a lot of situations.
Yeah.
And I think, just being able to extend that kindness to all people.
Right.
Is just such a huge, good life lesson. Because I also think I think we're both kind of like new age wooey a little bit. And like, I totally believe like the vibe I'm giving out is the vibe I'm getting back.
100%.
You know, so if I'm stressed, then that's what I'm going to see in the world. And that's what I'm going to get back. If I'm angry about something that has nothing to do with whatever, but that's the vibe I'm getting out. That's
right back.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get back. It's true. So why not just like.
And when good things happen, you're like, you know what? This is why I do the things I do. Like, relax, be a good person.
Mm-hmm. This is why I talk. Like, this is why I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was at
even the random like the postman. I take a tally in the city of how many people actually like respond hi.
Yeah.
Like in my head, like tally. And some people, I'm like, they just downright look at you like I just stole their dog.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just said hello.
I just said hi and smiled at you.
But I get it. Some people will never understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I know my journey is not the next person's journey.
Yeah.
My outcome will not be their outcome. If more people like, you have to be realistic that everything is going to be the complete opposite of what you think it's going to go down.
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense, but life makes no sense.
No.
And if you could ride the wave and just find the best and way you can get through it.
Yeah.
Like, do that.
Yeah.
And it's that simple.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm riding up in the elevator in the morning, if there's a bunch of people on the elevator and no one's talking to each other, when I get off, I like to be like, have a good day.
Right.
And it's just like, it's really interesting to see like how many people say it back and how many people like nothing.
Some people just respond like.
Yeah, like there's a lot of times that I'll say it and there'll still maybe be like 3 to 5 people on the elevator and no one will say it back.
Crickets.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's cool, man.
I know. I like not in the southern drawl way of saying I'll pray for you, but I'm like, I will. It's just like, I hope you find the happiness that you are so striving for.
Yeah.
Because those people haven't even started scratching the surface and like finding what it is in life that can make them completely happy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I mean, this day and age, our parents' generation, they weren't stuck, quote unquote, but they had way more of a technical mold.
Yeah.
Of like, this is how it should be.
Yep.
You get a career, you get a job.
These are the steps that you do. These are the things that you do.
And yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and that's why so many of them think like bartending and such is just like us holding up life or just not knowing what to do or trying to like, I'll just do this because it makes me not
figure it out.
Yes, it's like figuring out is a daily thing for everyone.
Yes.
You could be a lawyer, have 2 kids, 3 dogs, and a white picket fence and still be miserable.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are, and I think it's scary for people to, A, admit that, and B, then actually explore what it is that they want and what could bring them genuine happiness and joy to their life.
Like the previous podcast, like they never took that actual step of like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's sad because when I did work at the hospice, like the number one thing they all said is like, stay in touch with your friends and do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like it's such an easy 2 statements.
Yeah.
But it's everything.
Yeah.
Like, and I do not like watching older people, not saying they're all, like, but the ones that tell you like, I wish I did this, and it's constantly, I wish, ... Yeah. And I wish, instead of them just, because they didn't have other people encouraging them to like, just do it.
Yeah.
And we have so many opportunities in this world now. Like, everyone tries to bring out all the cons, but I'm just focusing on the pros because we're always going to have the bad stuff.
For sure.
But if you have a good mindset, great friends, and you take care of your people, you'll be set.
Yeah. Life is relationships. Life is love and relationships. Mm-hmm. And everything else you do in between those things like should be stuff that brings you joy.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't right now, then like explore
When's
and
the
figure
time?
out
Yeah.
like what is it that brings you joy, and if not now, when?
Because it's so because I didn't always start painting. Like I never even knew I liked like art, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I doodled here and there, but I always had more of a creative mind. I like creative writing. I love writing stories. Very eclectic, different kind of stories, but also just like children's book kind of thing, like allegories and all that such. But I didn't start painting because I had a spare bedroom, and then I was pregnant with twins, and then I lost the babies, but I was struggling with infertility and still am for years after that. And I was sick of looking inside that room and being sad.
Yeah.
So I decided, if that's my quote-unquote big step, I took everything out, like all the baby stuff, and turned it into an art studio so I could just write. And I call it my Zen zone.
Yeah.
So I could just write, and I paint, and I do everything that I want to do in there.
Yeah.
So it's like I've never changed anything from such a negative to a positive space.
Yeah.
It's an actual tangible space, and I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I even started painting, was because I was going through all of that and trying to figure out all of my feelings.
Yeah. There's a lot of feelings in there.
I mean, there still are, but that made me so happy to do that. But then it full circles, like, people don't see any of that side of when I'm behind the bar. Yeah. Or, like, anywhere, you know what I mean? Like, you see a young girl and you're like, oh, what are you doing? Are you still in school, little lady? Like, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, thank you, I am. But then that's the thing, like, because this past year, because for, like, the last 4 years, I started painting. And I've done, like, pop-up shows. Yeah. I've done, like, a lot of stuff. I've sold a lot of my art, which, like, feels great. Yeah. Can people, I'm going to pause you because I want people to be able to find your art if they can. Yeah, I have on my Instagram. Okay. It's Delilah May 14. We'll throw it up in the comments, too. Yeah. I have a lot of my art on there and just life in general. Yeah. I live a very full one, so it's entertaining regardless. Yes, you should absolutely follow Chelsea on Instagram. You'll be inspired for sure. Yeah. I mean, and hopefully inspires anybody. Yeah. I get inspired by people all the time. Yeah. And it's weird to say, like, ooh, I might inspire people, but like the mockery of like social media influencers, everyone mocks it, yet everyone is influenced by social media. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Politicians, the president, like every single soccer mom that we used to make fun of that are like, oh, soccer moms doing that. No, they're on Twitter. Yeah. They're on Instagram. Yes. They're on Facebook. It's here to stay. Everyone's on it. Yep. Your dad's on it, whether he tells you or not. Yep. He's got a social media. He's got a Twitter. He's got an Instagram. So we're all influenced by social media. So if I'm a social media influencer, then so be it. Yeah. Totally. Like we all are. Yes. In some way, we are all influencing. And I hope someone hears that and is like, you know what? Actually, that's true. Instead of mocking like the whole, like, yeah, there's the Instagram models that we know what they're doing, selling that little detox tea and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I will detox the bullshit and not take that. But, yeah, we're all on social media. Like, we're all influencers. Yes. And whether, I think you could argue that not just on social media, in life in general. Yes. You know, 100%. Like, yeah, we're all influencers. And I think the true influencers, the genuine, I guess, influencers are the people that just show up. Yeah. And like, listen, this is what it is for me. And like, I don't have any makeup on today, and this is what it is for me. And, you know, my place is a wreck, and this is what it is for me. It's like, today. I know yours is too, and you're watching. Yeah. It's like, and it's nice. We're just hanging out, being girlfriends. Like, yeah. And I like that when you get the feel from other people, you're like, you know what, I do that too. Yeah. I didn't want to admit it, but I totally do it. Yeah. Yeah. And like, it's fine to post the like beautiful pictures. I do that all the time. Right. And like have the grid and like whatever. Like I think about that all the time, but sometimes it's nice to just be like, listen, y'all, it is not like that all the time. Like I posted a picture with my legs being so covered in my dog's hair because he tried to do yoga with me. And I was like, and all my friends were like, do you know that you're like full of, I was like, did you even read the post? Exactly. And they didn't. They're like, honestly, I didn't. And I was like, it was because of the dog hair that I was cracking up. I said, my dog wanted to do yoga with me. Yeah. And you're ruining it. What do they call it? Dog yoga? Well, I can't even get over the goat yoga.
Oh, I know. It's so amazing.
I just watch it and I'm like, I've never done it. But
yeah.
man, does that look interesting.
It does.
I will just say interesting.
Yes.
Give me cow yoga and let's party, country girl.
Yeah. I've got the cows.
I think we could do it. They'll have stretch on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, me and you, I'm like, we're speaking a true like farm girl. I'm like,
we could do it in the pasture
city
with
girls, you will not
cows,
understand.
but I don't think we
That's
could
fine.
do it on the cows.
We'll full circle back to dogs.
Yeah.
Cow yoga.
Koga.
But you have to moo every single.
Oh my God, that'd be exhale.
Yeah.
On the exhales, you'd moo. We're onto something. People don't steal our idea.
Muga.
This is our thing.
Muga.
Yeah. Well, Muga. Yes.
Hashtag Muga.
Oh my gosh.
No one could take it. We patented it already.
That'll be episode 50, you guys. Check it out.
Yeah.
To be released.
Dun, dun, dun. Moo, moo, moo.
Amazing.
Down to that.
So, let's talk about exploring feelings and like working through stuff.
100%.
Because I feel like the last few years I've done a lot of work in that area, just trying to like be with my feelings,
Right.
which is so uncomfortable for me. I think for everyone, I think it's the human condition.
No, 100%.
You know, it's kind of like, oh, I feel a feeling and I feel a feeling I don't want to feel. And so I'm going to like busy myself.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to ignore it and like do this other thing.
Yeah, it's way easier to deflect away.
Yeah.
Like you could actually deal with stuff, write it, talk about it with someone, but you usually choose to divert.
Yeah. And just be like, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah. Or you end up, like we talked about earlier, full circling, where you take it out on something silly.
Yeah.
Or like you're late for the train and then you're mad at everything, but it was really because you got in a fight with your husband the night before kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but then it derails your whole day.
Yeah, it
and
can.
So I do understand, like, if you don't divulge all your feelings and deal with them, not quote unquote deal with them, but actually face them.
Yeah.
Then your day will be so much more fluent.
Yes. Yeah.
And you'll feel more like resolved.
Yeah, closure.
But
Put
saying
closure
it
around
and doing it, yes, are two different things.
Yeah, it's hard to sit with your feelings and like really explore. Like one of the things I think we've talked about on a previous podcast is like sitting with your feelings and actually recognizing like, what is it I'm truly feeling? And like, where is it coming from?
And like, how do I
move
on with it and or from it?
Yeah.
No, that's true. Cause I still like, with the fertility issues I have.
Yeah.
Like, cause most, like, it's like infertility is a club you don't want to be a part of. And yet you're VIP platinum.
Yeah.
And everyone feels bad for you after that. And that's the worst part, I think, personally, is because I'm a very in-your-face, fun, aggressive person. So when people like the mental shoulder rub, where they're like, how are you really feeling? Like, after they already asked me, and I'm like, I just explained it, but if you want me to explain it again, I will.
Yeah.
Like, when people are always trying to be like the advocate of like, let me make you feel better. And I'm like, how, like, just work on you. Like, if we all learn to work on ourselves, but that's just me being honest with that. I was like, but the feelings involved with that, I'm still just dealing with, you know, because you go through like the kind of like a butterfly kind of thing. You go in like the hopes and dream of like the future. But I mean, it's any situation.
Yeah.
This one's particularly about my infertility.
Sure.
Like, because then I thought it would be like easy to get pregnant again. And like, this is just how it is. Like, no worries. Everyone has kids, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But then like the struggle, and then you deal with like the grown woman, like, am I like a full grown woman?
Sure.
And you have those feelings of like just stabbing you kind of style of like, is there something wrong with me? Like, because then you don't feel like the 100% woman that like, I know I am.
Right.
Like the confident one.
Yep.
Because then it starts like ice chipping out at that, you know? And I had to deal with that for a long time.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also how I grew way more confident, even starting to become a confident woman, was like, I went through everything that was like designed to destroy me, and I came out even stronger.
Yeah.
So I came out like a fireball.
Yeah.
Because even before I met my husband and had the babies, I was married before, and he passed away in like a tragic accident on the L.
Yeah.
And so that was when I was 24 or 23. So that was just like, I was young, naive, thought that the whole world was ahead of me, and that kind of got ripped.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't know how to take it because I was still a little kid myself in my head. So then I was dealing with that, and that's when I decided to move to the city, to be honest, because I needed a fresh space, start everything. I couldn't be in the same mindset.
Yeah.
So, feelings were a flooding because I was lost more mentally and, like, tangibly because I didn't know the city. It's like, to full circle, I was like, the train system made me cry more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
I've once taken the Brown line to somewhere just to get on the same train thinking I was getting on another one.
Yeah.
And that was, like, my first couple of years in the city. But, I mean, working through that and, like, learning my own independence after that, like, being, like, completely rock bottom in my head. Like, every single year of my life has been, like a video game level.
Right.
That I beat.
Yeah, leveling up.
Yes, every single level is different.
Yeah.
There's different
monsters,
challenges.
Yep.
Some challenges will be way easier.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is easy.
I
and
can
then
jump
the next
over
one, you're
this
like,
mushroom,
I'm
no
never
problem.
going to get to the end with this level. And then you do.
Yeah.
And that's literally how I live my life because it's a circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do to find peace, like, in the chaos? Like, is it only art? Is it other stuff?
No, I mean, but I literally, as hippie as it sounds, like my, like, art of people, like, it's not just art. Like, I love painting and I love getting to write and stuff when I can. But, you know, like, I work 2 jobs, so it's not, like, always available. Like, there's weeks where I don't even go into that room, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
it's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my daily dealing with people is my art, and I don't care what anyone says. That's my mission in life, is to be good with people. And I love them. Like, even the cranky ones.
Yeah.
I've turned the crankiest people into some of the jolliest, like, folk ever. Whether it took me a couple hours, days, weeks, years.
Yep.
I changed them.
Yes.
Because I do not accept a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Like, not when it has to do with my time, because my time is precious.
Yeah.
And it is my time there.
Yep.
Like, yes, it's my job, but I was like, I'm not about to get, like, shit on because this person has a bad attitude about life.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a bad time because you're having a bad time.
Yeah.
So, like, let's figure it out.
And I usually get those vibes up in the air.
Yeah.
And I do like that. You can change a whole room, whether it's your living room or a whole theater.
Yep.
With just your mindset and your attitude.
Yes.
And I used to not always know that. Like, it's way easier to, like, give attitude and snarky and cut things short.
Yep.
We all know that. We've all done it.
Oh, yeah. It's way easier to give it back.
Yeah.
Like, when somebody's got an attitude with you. It's
and then you feel justified, but then no one's justified, and you're both just two little dicks walking away from each other in a
both
bad
on
mood.
edge. Yeah.
And there's no point. And we've all done it. And I definitely, in my, like, teenage, young 20s years, where I was just like, ugh. But no, you live and learn. You just got to deal with, like, knowing who you are, trying to be patient.
Yeah.
Trying very hard to be patient with everybody. And just knowing that their story's totally different. They could have, like, an awful day that you can't even comprehend.
Yep.
And you're over there like, oh, well, I was late to work, so that's that.
Yeah.
Justified. And you walk, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a little jackass.
Yeah. I think that to steal your, like, kind of words, the art of empathy.
Yes.
It is an art and it is a skill, but it's a skill that we can all build and attain. Yes.
And that's why I refuse to let it, because I'm like, you can't live your life like this.
Yeah.
Like, any situation.
And I think it's so easy to, like, give the attitude back when, if you can, like, remove yourself from the things that they're saying and not take it personally and think, like, okay, there's something happening for them outside of this that's causing those words and causing that attitude. So if I can take a step back and say, okay, like, what's going on for them? How do I may not be able to fix the fight that they had with their girlfriend or husband or child.
But you can allot some time
but
to
like,
help them
I can create some space, like, for that allows them to, like, either be with the feelings, deal with the feelings, or just, like, create this space that they can move past that right now and be here in this moment,
Right.
this fun moment, instead of like staying in that story of the fight.
100%. That's why if everyone just would realize, I mean, it takes forever. I'm 31. It took me probably 29 solid years to figure out that you have just today.
Yeah. And not just today, but like just now.
Yeah.
Like
right people die
now.
at night, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's an unfortunate, and it's not gloomy. Like some people are like, it's not pessimism. It's literally just realism.
Yeah.
Where, especially as the more you grow older, like friends die in tragic accidents, family members die, like people will die crossing the street.
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds so simple to say, just be a good person and take care of everybody and just bring out solid vibrations to the world without ruining your day or going out of your way kind of style. Like, it's simple stuff.
Yeah.
Like helping an old lady cross the street, as silly as it is. Like, I watch grown men rush past old ladies that are struggling and just have no second thought. And I'm like, it's hold on, ma'am, let me help you. And it's
getting off standing up to give somebody your seat on the train.
Yeah.
Like, even
it's like
just
the
not
human
being
code.
on your phone so in depth that you don't realize you could scoot over.
Yeah.
And like 4 more people could get on the train
Exactly.
during rush hour because we're all trying to get
like
home.
The incognizance of just straight up ignoring it.
Yeah.
And that's what's sad. I don't want the world to turn into that.
Yeah.
We're already in like a robotic, technological world.
And I think for me, I think a huge part of that is just like living in the now, in the moment. Like, and not just from like, you could, you know, I could walk out of my apartment and get hit by a bus, but like, just like, even if I don't, if I'm not in this moment and I'm worried about like, okay, after this, I need to this,
you'll
and
never
I
be
also
in the
need
moment
to do
then.
this, then you're never in the moment. And like, you miss out on a connection with someone or even just like a moment of calm or like joy and like seeing something. Like that happens to me all the time when I'm walking. If I can just be really present and not rushing to where I'm going, like I see sometimes the coolest stuff or the funniest stuff. Like I was walking yesterday and it was just like walking down the street and past a SUV with like the back end up. And I just happened to like, I was talking to one of my friends, but I happened to like look, and a mom was like, had her kids like legs up in the air, was like changing the diaper. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
you can't really help her. You got to change it. That's funny.
Yeah. And it's just
and
like,
life goes on. It's like, you don't have a changing table, open the back seat.
That's right. You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, if you're not present in the moment, like you miss little things like that. Like you miss life.
Right. Like the other day I was walking my dog and just, there was a little girl, probably like 3, walking the dogs with her dad, and just hearing like the giggles and the laugh, like that's the kind of stuff I'm like dads walking with their daughter, or like moms at like the little league games, whether they want to be there or not. It's adorable.
Yeah.
And it is those little things. That's what I love about family, because it's like grandparents, you know, everybody gets old, they die, then you get new ones. It's just like the full circle of life. It's like it never stops. And if you could just stop yourself and like stop time a little bit and just soak it up, it's really fabulous.
Yeah.
I'm like, life is really worth the go if you put effort into it.
Yeah. 100%. And like I do find it's one of the places it's the easiest for me to just be fully present is with with all of my nieces, but especially like 2 of my nieces are older now, but when they were little, when they were the age of my littlest niece who's turning 3 this fall, like being with them, it's so easy to just be so present because they're so present to the moment.
They just want to know everything about everything.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not worried about like when they're going home or when lunch is or like,
they just want to play ponies, and you're like, hell yeah,
when they're done playing ponies and they want you to read like 17 books to them, it's like okay,
I'll read 18.
I'll read. You bring it over and I will read it. Like however many times we do that, and they're just so present to life as it is in that moment, and I think it makes adults
like the purity of it all.
Yeah,
like if adults, all of us included, can just go down to the simple way of life and just, I love it.
Yeah. And to recognize it in each other too.
Yeah.
You know, because I think sometimes we look at, you know, if you look at kids, I mean, it's kind of selfish, right? Like they're fabulously selfish. Like I want you to read me 17 books. Like if I said that to you, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, it's like,
what? I don't have time to read you 17 books, Kristin.
But a little kid asks you and you're like, I actually do have time.
Yeah. And so I think there's got to be some sort of like translation in of that into adulthood, like where we recognize that like there's an appropriateness to like what you're asking, but being able to ask for what you want. Like,
because most people keep all of their like thoughts and stuff in their head and no one knows anything. And then that's when you really start projecting, actually, is because when you don't think that, like, we obviously talk to ourselves in our head all the time. And even when you talk to like your close girlfriends and your family, you only give them like the little tidbits, but in deep, like when you divulge into it, it's like, and then it just, hold on, I was trailing off there. I full circled so much into all my thoughts there. We'll have to full circle. I literally.
No problem. So I think that, we do have so many thoughts in our head and we don't necessarily share fully with ourselves or with other people.
Yeah. Well, because and then you get angry because in your head, you've told all these people these things like 10 times, but you didn't tell this to anyone. Right. So when people don't respond and reply and react like you hope them to, even though they are unbeknownst to the whole situation.
Yep.
So it confuses everybody, and we all do that. Yeah. And that's why no matter what, unless you like talk to a therapist and stuff, like no one ever gets it like fully out. So yes, we all have to figure out how to compartmentalize, I guess.
Yeah, and to own our voices. Yeah. To feel that we're worthy of saying and asking for what we want. Right. And like I think people worry that like, well, I do. This is probably me projecting to be just totally self-aware. Like for me personally, I sometimes feel like asking for what I want is selfish.
Oh, 100%. I used to be afraid to ask my jobs like how much I got paid. Yeah. Like that's the world we lived in where I was like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And why do we feel like that? I don't know. But because it's the constant, like, not even like, are you good enough kind of thing. It's just like, it's naturally like makes me timid to say that stuff. And I would like to know more why and why I do that. And I will work on that still. Because I'm still that way. I'm not even saying I'm like, oop, yep, check that off the list. I'm like, I'm still that way. Yeah. And that's okay.
And I'm sure there's areas of your life that you are really bold, that you don't have any issue like asking for what you want. Right. So I think like that's interesting too. So audience, one thing that you could consider looking at here is what areas of your life are you bold and what areas of your life are you timid? And like,
that's actually
what's there for you, you know, in those moments of timid.
Pros and cons. And it makes you actually really think, because I didn't even think about it until we said it. And I was like, to be honest, I'm still that way. Yeah.
Well, and I think we have all these considerations that we put on asking for stuff. Yeah. Our own considerations,
either, and not selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what makes me feel, because I don't want to seem like, well, that's what I deserve kind of style in anything, not even just like money, physically, work, life. It's like, because then you start questioning, like, am I worth it? Yeah. What did I like? Why am I getting this? What if they say something I don't expect? I'm not prepared for this. Yeah. And that's where the 7 stages of grief, quote unquote, in my head that happened in that situation. Acceptance, bargaining. I'm like, wait, all up in my head. Yeah. And that's fine. Yeah. Because I know we all do it.
Yeah, we do.
If you say you don't do it, you're lying.
Yeah. You probably don't do it everywhere, but there are certain things in your life that like you want something and you like talk yourself up and you're like, I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to do it. And then you get there and you're like,
and then you walk in, because if it's not the same scenario in your head, like if they even start differently than what you thought it was going to be,
you're like, oh, now what? Yeah. You're like, now what? Yeah. And I do think that that's another interesting place for people to look is how stuck are you? How committed are you to a specific outcome
right.
or a specific reaction.
That's true.
Like, because I think a lot of times that holds us back too
Oh,
from saying what we need to say, because we can't, it's hard as humans to not have a commitment to a specific outcome
right.
or a specific
it's
reaction.
It's part of the control in us where we just want some form of structure, like, no, it's going to go like that.
I'm going to say this, and then what I want you to say is this.
Yeah.
But like, we don't
then
have
that's
control
like,
over that.
When they all think about it, you have to think about like, what part of that can make you like disappointed if it doesn't?
Right.
What would make you happier if it didn't go like that?
Exactly. And so you're committed to this particular outcome where
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. We
like,
all are.
Because whether you're like a control freak or you just, know who you are and like to do the things you do.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to go through that thinking process.
Yeah. You run through scenarios.
Yeah.
And then you decide which scenario seems the best and feels the most comfortable. And you hope that this conversation or this ask that you're about to have goes that way.
Right.
And like, what if we didn't do that? What if we just
probably
like
a daily thing in different scenarios. So
if you weren't committed
if we all
to like
cut
a
that
specific,
out, then you'd have more of the days where it's like, is what it is. Like,
I'm going to ask for this. I'm not going to put any considerations on it. This is something that I want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask for it. And their reaction means nothing.
Yeah. Because I didn't have any preconceived notions.
Yeah,
and
they can react however they want. I'll have had integrity in my word because I've said what I needed to say in a nice, polite,
in a dignified way, of just like, because you have to go to sleep knowing that you did what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Like when you don't sleep well, it's because you were like, I should have said that and I didn't, and I had the chance.
I wish I would have said that.
Like the constantly, in the whole of, damn, I should have said that.
Yep. And if we're not like committed, I keep saying committed, but like if we're not stuck on having it go a certain way, then we can have these really authentic, genuine conversations because instead of saying, okay, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it this way. And then what I hope is that they say whatever. And then they don't say that. And then you're in your head instead of listening to what they've just said to you. You're like, oh shit, that isn't what they were supposed to
you're
say.
Not permeating
they weren't
anything.
supposed
you're
to.
Literally
and so you've removed yourself from this conversation and you don't get to have like this genuine connection
and
where
then you're already retracted because you're already 2 steps behind because you had already prepared this out. So you'd already have more anxiety because now you have to think of a new plan instead of just saying exactly what you wanted right then.
Yeah. And to be present to what they have to say in return.
Yeah. Because you'd missed it all. That might be like the one thing you needed to propel into the future.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah. You never know like what you're missing when you're in your head.
Yes. In your head is a distant place.
Yeah. Yeah. The bowels of like, your mind.
You got to wait till it comes back.
Good, if it ever comes back.
Yeah. It's up there with the laundry still.
Yeah. Down in the basement, up in the attic.
Right.
Yeah.
That sums it up.
Pretty much. Okay. So we are almost out of time. In your wisdom and your brightness and your love, what would you tell or what do you tell your younger self, your younger family members?
I would say that you don't have to understand your journey, but you have to trust it.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally how I try to live my life because I will never understand it. And all that I've been through just reminds me of that anymore. Like, just do your thing and be happy.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
That's awesome.
Just that.
Yeah, and it's a perfect way to end this episode.
Good. Thank you for letting me.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for letting me have on.
Yes,
I love chatting.
thank you for being here. It was a super fun episode. I think people are going to get a lot of little nuggets. James is nodding his head in agreement. So it's true.
And cow yoga.
Yes, and Muga to come.
Muga.
Okay, so we will put your Instagram handle in the notes so people can follow you. You guys can find me on Instagram at Robinson Kristin, Kristin. Subscribe and like wherever you're consuming us. And that's a wrap.
Thank you.